Join us for an enlightening experience where you will gain a deeper understanding of the purpose and essence of opening your eyes. This is your chance to enhance self-awareness and personal growth with a shift in perception that provides a fresh outlook on life. Embrace the journey from consciousness to superconsciousness by Barrett Kunyan.
Oh, here we are again, and we have our beautiful soul brother, Rick Jerwes. Thank you so much, brother. We're always excited to have you at our Activator platform. It's always an honor. Yes, my lovely brother. So today we're going to discuss beyond politics. It's Rick Jerwes on the Ascension Process and the path to absolute virtue. Brother, you not that long ago, the exact date was, I think, the 5th of November. You let me just enlarge the screen. You posted this wonderful article. If I have the privilege of reading it to our listeners, the worldwide political arena does not align with God's sovereign free, of which God's sovereign free is instrumental to the ascension process. Politics is a mechanism of the beast machine to cause conflict and separation. Politics and governments dissolve as the advancement of humanity into God's sovereign free rapidly continues, establishing God's prime creator's law and will upon earth, the new constitution of God's will, which contains nothing of the old other than the absolute virtue. So thank you for that. So that was posted on your Facebook page on the 5th of this month. So we've taken we've created like before some questions, my lovely brother. 5 being the norm. So let's begin with the first question. What does the term God sovereign free represent to you, and how do you envision it reshaping the current political landscape?
Perfect, brother. And let me first say it's an honor as well for I to be here. And I always love your opening video. It's so professional to the degree for the awakening and the higher consciousness. And I love that. And it's great to be here as well, brother. So what you got up here for the question, the term God sovereign free, the reason we use that term now and the reason why we need to go there is because the actual freedom has been disillusioned among people. They don't readily know what true freedom is. And with the current beast system, if you will, it restricts and violates even the freedom, the God sovereign freedom, and takes away the rights of people to manipulate and control them. This is the beast system. So those are the bad guys on the block, if you will. But now all of us good guys, if you will, and girls, of course, are here on the scene to change this for the entire planet. So getting back to 2012, what has occurred is that the entire planet is in ascension mode, which means humanity will go into the first level of civility that does not include evil or darkness. So this is the divine plan that is all set up in the strategy to effect that, with many divine incarnates here on the planet in physical form to ensure and guarantee the will of God and the divine plan. So, what God's sovereign free represents to I, if you will, for all, what is known importantly as your unalienable rights. These are your inherent rights as a soul, as a being. And these rights, of course, include, importantly, your self determination, which covers most of that. And with your self determination, this is your right to choose and to not be controlled and dictated by artificial man made laws on where you can go or what you can do, as long as you're God sovereign free is acting from the full moral capacity. And again, with God sovereign free, all of the good souls within their heart know how to behave and react with others. And their demeanor is inherent. It is the God sovereign free, which is innate, it's in here, meaning that you don't need to be taught or it doesn't need to be written how to behave. It is inherent. So the next part of your question, it says, and how do you envision it reshaping the current political landscape? Well, first of all, it doesn't reshape the political landscape. What it actually does is eradicate it. No longer politics, ones need to understand that politics are a game of the darkness, that both parties or both sides, they go to dinner and they go to bed together, if you will. They are friends, but they are also controlled as puppets to play out the roles and to create animosity, to have people creating animosity and to look at competition, to look at greed, and all of these illusions that politics give people, campaign promises that never come true because there is never any intention for it. So to keep it simple, no, the political landscape is the beast machine and it's being annihilated, if you will, and taken out of existence, but not by a brute force, because God is not a brute force. We are omnipotent, the divine delegation of God, which includes you and many others, and we don't need to use brute force. What we use is the peaceful assimilation solution to change reality. And the beauty of this, it's all been set up upon earth, that the majority of the souls are already good, peaceful, loving people. So the God sovereign free frees everyone from this current illusion that they are in, that has enslaved them and robbed them of their intrinsic value, including their intrinsic God sovereign freedom that they have. To keep it simple.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Question number, yeah, thank you. Question number 2. You mentioned that politics is a mechanism of the beast machine. Could you explain what the beast machine is and how you perceive its influence on humanity today?
Thank you. Well, the entire beast machine, if you will, what most are used to this attribute of it, is the current worldwide system, the monetary policy worldwide, and the political arena and network of governments. This is an attribute of the beast machine that has the underlying agenda that is nefarious, and it is against the people's best interests and humanity's best interests. And this is why, with this current system, you have things like poverty, because the current system created it, because it wants it, but because the current system is an attribute of the beast system to create miserable things and suffering, because this is what the beast system, the darkness, the devil, if you like, their system, it's what it likes. It does not like people to be happy and joyful. So it is the darkness. So the current political system, if you look at it, what does it do? It creates separation within a country and also worldwide, separates peoples into nations. So, they're easier to control. So there is uh, the actual orchestrated dynamics behind this beast machine. And again, to get into the real truth, it's run upon earth. Everyone you see here is not human, and this is important to know, that there are many other aliens, if you will, and there's also soulless minions. And when Jesus said, he mentioned in his uh, one of his great speeches at the temple, what he mentioned is men made by men. They do not go forward. And what he meant by this is the clones and the minions that were constructed by the darkness theirself, because they have no souls. This is the soulless minions that are upon earth, that propagate and perpetrate most of the beast system mechanics. So let's see, what else do you have here? Is how you perceive its influence. Well, the beast machine influence on humanity has subjugated them to extrinsic value, which robs them of their unlimited intrinsic value. But by doing this, and let's take gold for example. So one of the illusions and deceptions of the darkness is to make it look to the people that gold is valuable, and that only a few, like the banks and governments that have gold, then they can control the people. So the people fall under the illusion that they are worthless, that they don't have any worth. But the real truth is, gold would not have any value if the people did not first accept and recognize it as a value. And the moment that they do that, that's when they rob themselves and they subjugate themselves to a system of control and pillage of self worth, and also to put them in a place of enslavement. So the beast machine had the full influence upon humanity to subjugate them to self enslavement. And this is the reason why divinely the ascension is occurring, and why we are here. Because what has happened with GPMS.world, which is the part, it's an instrument of the ascension, it flips the table on that control. What it does, it gives the intrinsic unlimited value to every individual. They cannot be dictated to nor controlled by an outside force. So their worth and their value, and also their dignity, which is so important, is restored within each. And then with that, it is the community that is created with all of the human souls to go forward. So also I need to add in, not only see, the darkness created money as a tool to enslave ones. So what we divinely did, or what is being done divinely, is the money is be created as a good tool, so that everyone has equal access to it. And what it does, it quickly advances humanity forward. So also with the beast machine is the artificial laws, which are the man-made laws that are designed to violate and annihilate as many of the unalienable rights as possible from the individual, so they can control them. And, an example of this is with all of the children that are taken from families and parents worldwide, because the parents, if you will, are subjugated to control of the system that weakens them, that they lose their children. There is no real justification for any family to lose their children. Their parents are the direct guardians looking out for the best welfare of the child. But because the system will create a scenario where these parents perhaps are burdened into poverty and then cannot provide. This is all instrumental, and these are attributes of the darkness to do this, to also separate children from their families. Yeah, that's enough on that. I could go on, but that's enough. We need to get to the next question.
Thank you, brother. Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome.
Question number 3. How do you see the ascension process unfolding for humanity? And what role do you believe spiritual principles will play in this transition?
Excellent. All right. So the ascension process, how do I see it unfolding for humanity, is that it is absolute, it is guaranteed, it is ensured, it is the will of God from the omnipotent creator. So, what we are doing are collecting all of the souls together at this time, if you will, to the muster point of gpms.world, and we take everything forward once we have all of ours souls collected together. And this is what GPMS is doing. So, excuse me. So the ascension process is guaranteed in whatever way that may look like for the individual soul, meaning that some souls are already have their multi-dimensional real abilities activated. They are able to transverse or traverse different um, dimensional realities, while let's say on the lower level that the human souls that are having their physical vessels prepared, they come up to the first level of a civilized society here rather than the savage one, just to give a slight idea of how that works. But it doesn't matter how it overall works. The first step of it, which we are doing, which is guaranteed to ascend the planet into a civil state, into a civil state of being, out of this present ridiculous savagery, insanity, deliberate deceit, and all of these evil ways. Now, you say, in what role do you believe spiritual principles will play in this transition? Well, with that, core values, and what you will find if you ask any spiritual inclined one now, through the course of their existence here, they know the importance of core values, at least to some degree, and they know of their existence. Now, what happens when one advances into their spiritual principles? What they begin to do, they recognize that there is an absolute importance of purifying your soul, doing your inner work, changing the way you behave, no longer demean, belittle ones, if you will, no longer be frustrated, impatient. So, what you do is you work on the entire fear spectrum, which is huge. It includes everything: worry, impatience, aggression itself, because these things are inhibitors to your energetic field. If you have fear in you and you are constantly in that state that you're controlled by fear, you generate that in your field and you cannot advance in the consciousness. So, upon Earth, if you will, and upon the planet, this is all divinely prepared and assured that those that need to be energetically relieved of the density of fear are, and we don't need all of the masses to do this. All we need is enough that are in unity, and it creates a hundredth monkey effect, a flash flood on consciousness, which creates the paradigm shift forward. So the spiritual principles are the core values and essentials that what I call divine designees or divine delegates are here to do. So it's not by chance that the great awakening is happening. There is the huge point of it all, and there is the direction. Without the direction of the ascension, everyone would just be going like a dog going in circles chasing their tail. There has to be a direction out of this madness, and that is the ascension and doing the inner work that raises your energetic level pure of density so you're able to sustain in a different reality where evil doesn't exist.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, brother. Next question, number 4. You you refer to a new constitution based on God Prime Creator's law and will. What core principles or values do you believe will define this new constitution, and how will it differ from the existing political frameworks?
Excellent question, brother. All right, let me break this down, if you will. When I refer to a new constitution, if you will, again, for what we are with our inherent unalienable rights, it doesn't need to be written, if you will. It doesn't need to be put into a constitution. The tricks with the constitution, these were derived from the darkness theirself as a false facade for ones to think that they had rights. It's the same as your Charter of Rights, the Declaration of Rights. All of these have no force unless they're enforced by the people. So it's only a gentleman's agreement because the darkness will not enforce these. And over the last 4 or 5 years, it's become totally evident how the unalienable rights of the individual has been severely violated. So we know this. So with a new constitution, it's simple: do no harm, love thy neighbor, share and assist with all uh, in whatever good ways. And again, with the core principles, it's all of your virtues and your moral your morality to act good to everyone and to the new constitution. What it does, if you will, again, it doesn't need to really be written. It's to do no harm, love thy neighbor. These simple things that create unity and sharing and community worldwide. So this is God's law and God's will that is being established, and this is the do no harm principle. Um, so these define it, and how will it differ from existing political frameworks? Well, existing political frameworks are again designs of the beast, designed to diminish and rob everyone of these core values, and also on the minutia for every individual to even attempt to make the individual a criminal, if you will. So the system is designed to devalue and incriminate one. And one example I'll use of this is that most in the old world, they are not fully honest on their taxes. They cheat, in any country. And everyone does that to try to conserve money. But what this does to them, the moment they cheat, then the darkness had them in deception and it enslaves them. So, this is one example of how the systems are set up to constantly pillage, rob, and suppress and oppress the individual. So, just as one example, and The whole political arena, its construct, its mechanisms, its design, right from its core, is designed to limit every individual and to control every individual. And before we go to this next question, I know all of this because of my divine training to get to the core of the entire world financial system and also their man made law legal system. And I needed to know this for what I'm doing now. So when I speak about something, I'm not speaking from the top of my hat or hauling something out of the air. This is embodied as a knowing. I know what I'm speaking about. I know what I'm here upon earth to do. So, and I say that, and ones may say, "Oh, that's egotistical." No, it's not. It's just that you don't know what you don't know yet, which is perfectly fine. Everyone has their perspective, but as we keep going forward, everyone's perspective is going to change. And a blatant example of that, before anyone was awakened, they didn't know the truth of of the lie they were living. Here's a blatant example of it, saying that you don't know what you don't know yet. Some of us do, but we share it to bring our other brothers and sisters up with us. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Fifth and last question, if I may. What role do you think individuals should play in supporting this transition towards God's sovereign, free, and the establishment of a new constitution based on absolute virtue?
Well, I'm going to be frank or blunt with this. It is the moral obligation of every soul to support what this is. Now, whether they know that God is real or not, it is logically written as well, meaning that there is no excuse and ignorance is not bliss in this. Every individual or an adult, for example, knows how a voting system works, and they also know how things are not right in their community and in the world. So, having said this, every individual should be take a look at yourself and look at your outside world. You're supporting a world where children are starving. What kind of a person are you? What kind of a soul are you to allow that to occur when, for the first time ever, you have the opportunity to choose an entire new system worldwide? So it becomes your moral obligation and duty as a human soul to do what is right, to eliminate this savagery and this insanity. So that is the moral obligation with it. And yeah, and the new constitution, if you will, again, it doesn't need to be written because it is divinely assumed by every individual. It's already in here. You don't need all these laws, what they have today. And really, you don't even need anything written. You have everyone working in harmony, community, and unity. This is what it's all about, and it's so easily done on earth. And on absolute virtue. Yes, when we take the beast machine out of the way, which creates the vice, if you will, and subjugate ones to the false illusion that they're sinning, but they're actually subjugated and tricked by the system to sin. Really, no one has any sin. It's not their fault. It was the deception of the system that made them do, let's say, dishonorable things. Yes, they had a choice, but what were their choices? Their choices were really, if they bucked the system, then they'd be put out, rejected out of it, and endured great hardship. So, because they did not want that for themselves and their families, they tried to work with the system and struggle to survive. so with this, everyone upon the planet, let's. I'm going to take this one step further. When you look at a murderer, if you will, but this murderer could have been a soul. What caused the murderer to do this? Did the murderer need money? What was the background? What caused it? Every time when you go to look at the background, you're always going to see the root cause was the system, because this is what made the one be this way. If you say, oh, the one had everything and they just became mental, yeah, they probably became mental because of the chemicals in the food that the system approves and intentionally allows in there. So you always trace it back. The paper trail always goes back to the system as the root cause of everything. And divinely so, we just replace that dark system with the good system. Then what you have is the beautiful community, harmony, and all of this. Good things, love, peace, sharing, caring, abundance, everyone thriving in happiness and joy, and has their life to their self, and their families coming together, not to be separated by a beast system, because the new system fully supports the families and all, of course.
Brother. Thank you so much. I'd just like to pay tribute to Brother Lee Mudway. He presented, I've got the date here, an open letter to all humans, and I wanted to take this opportunity to share it with our viewers.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what Lee Mudway posted on the 10th of November on his social media, Facebook. Open letter to all human souls with extreme prejudice. You're not worthless beggars deserving of scraps from the Dark One's table. You're all divine sparks of creation, unlimited in value, and by birthright, each and every one deserved of absolute abundance and freedom, each having the unalienable right of self-determination and absolute authority over one's choices, with no one in a position of authority above another. You all know innately that the divine law of do no harm is a paramount and intrinsically good. It would be really cool if you all remembered this forthwith and stopped allowing this dark manipulation to devalue and dehumanize you any longer. With love and anticipation of a speedy remembrance of your intrinsic worth. Brother Lee, thank you so much. That was so captivating, brother, and it really
It
touched my soul.
is. Yeah, indeed,
It's
yes. Yeah, Brother
yeah.
Lee, just so articulate and right to the point, and so concrete. You cannot find loopholes, if you will, in his servants to humanity, and what he gives. And it's beautiful. And this is the truth, the absolute truth. And this is what, again, what GPMS.world is, and what all of us are here to do, alignment with this ascension. Yeah, each one chooses what you do. And also, overall, the energetics upon earth is set up that if one keeps not being in alignment with going forward with the ascension, if they become a negative and fear state, what they do is they become a magnet for that, and they attract constantly more hardship to them. And the reason I'm saying this is because the energetics upon earth is all designed with the prominent dominant energy being the divine supportive energy once ones get on the right track. Once they get on the right track, then they are fully supported and know that everything is fine and we're going forward. So the energetics is set up for all of your viewers, but uh, what you present to is the higher consciousness ones. So I these are basics and essentials, if you will. So I don't need to
Yeah.
elaborate on that. But yeah, great message by Brother Lee. He's been putting out some very impactful truths that cannot be diminished. And these are the powerhouses. Lee is a powerhouse, an example of a powerhouse. Now, what we need is more of our divine feminine coming out as well and putting these substantial truths out. And the divine feminine is so important in this overall ascension as well. And in my yeah, I was going to say tell a story, but I won't. But yeah, all of us are so important. And the children, the innocence of the children, the energetic, good core values, but the innocence itself, the purity of the children are so important. And when a child is in joy, how much they'll change a whole room, because of their innocent effects and energizing effects on reality itself. It's beautiful. So the children are so powerful as well. All of us are. It's just getting through this illusion, as Lee, was saying. Come on, everyone. You're not beggars, and you don't need to ask a government for approval or on this or that when it's designed to suppress you. Come on, wake up. It's as simple.
Robert, thank you. My son and I, we put this video together not that long ago, and it's called Inner Child Affirmations. With your blessings, I'd just like to share it with our beautiful viewers. It's just under a minute long, and
Yes.
within all of us lives the pure, unconditioned essence of our inner child, the part that feels joy, curiosity, and love without boundaries. It's time to reconnect, to heal, and to embrace that child within. I am childlike wonder. I am universal kindness. I am trust. I am self-nurturing. I am imagination. I am innocence. I am laughter. I am forgiveness. I am unconditional love. I am authenticity. I am self-supporting. I am open to everything. I am curious. I am play. I embrace, accept, allow, and release. I am heart-centered. Reconnect with your inner child and rediscover the beauty within. Yeah, that's, I always appreciate the wonderful relationship we've created with beautiful son, and it's just, yeah. Robert, just to end the show on a note of a particular modality that some people turn to in order to help raise their frequency. You've heard of this whole Ho'oponopono mantra. Um, do you feel that that's powerful, or do you think it's just like any other modality? Do you feel it's a good one to work with?
Let me just say, with the whole array of techniques and modalities, it's not just any other one. They all play a certain important role, and they are designed for the individual soul groups and audiences. So all of it is productive. And it doesn't matter what modality, the importance of forgiveness is so important, to forgive oneself and to forgive everyone in their life, if you will, and to make those amends, because it is the forgiveness and the amends, the energy that is created, which raises all boats. If you don't have it there, what it does, it's an anchor because it's an unresolved energy. So it is important to the degrees for ones, yes. Whatever works, use it. We don't wish to
Okay.
limit anything, especially what I say, if it works, use it because there are just so many modalities and techniques that are out there. Use your discernment. What is genuine? If you're using a technique or modality that has a certain instructor or teacher, use your discernment. Is that teacher genuine, if you will, as well? But typically with this, most of the false prophets, false teachers, have been weeded out by this time. There's a lot of them that are no longer there, but also they served a purpose in the past. But gratitude, forgiveness is such a important part of one's elevating into their higher levels of consciousness and understanding, and it is instrumental. Yes.
Thank you, brother. Do you have another minute or two, or should we just
Oh, I'm
wrap?
fine. No, go ahead. That's
Because
great.
it's one of our fortes, putting these videos together. So we created one. It's just again under a minute long, and it's called the Ho'oponopono mantra. Just
During our busy
sure.
lives, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. Peace, love, gratitude, and forgiveness. Ho'oponopono, an ancient Hawaiian practice, guides us back to these core values with a simple mantra. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Each phrase is a step towards healing. Love connects us, apology humbles us, forgiveness frees us, and gratitude grounds us. By repeating this mantra, we cleanse our hearts, release the past, and create space for peace. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you.
We
Beautiful,
love you
brother.
very much. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. It's so it's such a pleasure to share space with you, brother, and the likes of yourself and Lee Madway. It's been instrumental and a massive game changer. I can speak from my heart. It's just been it's been a thrill to be in such great company, and excited to see the numbers that we've reached as well, and continues to grow. And sending love to you, and thank you for all that you do for us, for the children of the planet, for humanity. We appreciate everything that you do, brother.
Oh, thank you so much, brother. But again, it takes all of us together as the team to do this, and each one of us plays our divine important role to do this. So each one, uh, each one's contributions are not to be measured as less or more. They are all equal in the role that they play and how they affect things. What I wish to say with the mantra, the Hawaiian mantra you just had up there, it is so important for ones at speaking out loud because, again, your voice is energy. And what you are doing, the stronger you become, you are actually commanding more of the energy to represent what you are putting outward. And this is a beautiful thing. And what we look at, if you look at the Hawaiian people, they were as well advanced into the basic core values. And what you see with this, they had it and they retained it within their culture. But what you see is again the encroachment by the darkness to take these core basic essential core values away from ones and subjugate them with an enslavement, suppressive system of control. But what we see is that the core values have always been here, but there was that actual nefarious intent that came in to diminish it, of course, with the agenda to control. And if we look at North America, if you will, with the history that was written without getting into that, this is what you saw, the brute force coming in and trying to force the illusion on peoples, conquering them, and in very deceitful ways, and making scapegoats, if you will, the darkness, to make it look like, let's say, that it was natives that were attacking the settlers in North America, when actually it was not. So, these are designs, again, of the darkness. And when you look in North American natives, again, within their culture, within their legend, in their myths, which are the reality, you will see all of the core values and how to function as a respectful, mutual, loving, peaceful being. And much of the history, if you will, in native North America was all manipulated, convoluted, and twisted to fit an agenda. Really, the real truth was North America is a big land and a landmass, and you had many tribes that had their own territories, and there was not the wars and the fighting to the degree. You had some squabbles, but you did not have the wars that are written in history. And, the native peoples, indigenous peoples will tell you this. And, yeah, so I could go on about that, but I'm going to stop. But very important, and worldwide, everywhere, the core values were here, but they were nefariously, intentionally robbed. For the beast machine.
Brother Rick Jerwes, thank you so much, and we look forward to another future Q&A. I'm sure we will find beautiful articles that you always post. So in the meantime, till we meet again, may I send you and Fenka and Romania and all our beautiful viewers throughout the world much love, gratitude, and see you again, brother. See you again soon.
Love, light, and gratitude to you, brother, and your family, and Katrina, and son as well. So have an amazing evening, and we'll speak soon.
Take care.
Bioactivator would like to thank you for your kind support and donations. Through Barrett Tunian's guardianship of this platform, his activation of truth harmonizes, neutralizes, and unblocks the meridians that connect, balance, and purify all that comes in contact. Do no harm is the key that fully opens the heart's voice to be in the union of the I Am presence, and will represent every living organism on the planet whose voice would otherwise not be heard. Remember, the truth will set you free. Do no harm, cause no loss, and do not impose upon the freedom of others. Love, light, and prayer.